in Seattle. The journey starts. John, we're ready. I'm sure you are too. Good morning. How are you, man?
Hey, morning, John.
Hey, great morning to you guys. How you doing?
We're fired up, man. We're fired up, very much so. And I can only imagine how you are feeling on a Thursday. There's a certain feeling about a Thursday of a game week, isn't there?
Yeah, this is a little different. We're used to doing this on Fridays, but hey, the request was made that we do this on Thursday, so it's all good. I guess it's going to play Thursday and Friday. I was just talking with Corey Rush here, River Island. We lost our beer sponsorship, huh?
Yeah. You know what, John?
What was our beer?
It was Fieldwork. Fieldwork, yeah.
Fieldwork.
Which, by the way, is open, and give them a free plug. They're opening a spot at Mission Rock across from McCovey Cove. So I think this is an open and easy plea for Fieldwork to get back on board.
Let's get that. We'll do Fieldworks at River Island.
That's it. I'll talk to some people, John.
And I'll meet you at the boathouse. Yeah, John.
They stocked me up well last year. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, good tasting too, right? Good. And by the way, if you want to go light too, their NA is really good too. If you want to just fake it on a Tuesday night or something.
They gave me a good assortment. So,
yeah, good stuff. Well, Fieldwork, are you listening? Let's go. Let's go.
All
right. Well, first and foremost, you know what's funny, John? On our job, every day we turn on the mics for 4 hours. We got to talk about something. And we talked about Jauan Jennings for 5 weeks. Yeah. And then we woke up on Monday morning and he was at practice. And ESPN has reported you guys did a little sweetener for him. Can you tell us all about it, John? A, how's it going back on the practice field? And B, did it take a little sweetener to get him back on the practice field?
Well, it's going great for Jauan. I want to commend Jauan. I think the way he took care of his business, both getting healthy and his want for a new contract. He handled it in a good way, and one thing I do pride myself. We talk about like strategic transparency, but we're pretty transparent people, and when I say stuff, I usually mean it, when I was saying that those things don't have to be mutually exclusive, Jauan did battle a calf injury and he did want a new contract, and both things seemed to get right at the right time. And so that's a good thing for us. And the great news is Jauan has looked great out there, and, he's ready to go, and he kept himself in really good shape. And, is there going to be a little rust? Hopefully not. He's played a lot of football for us, and his energy out there is palpable. We feel it. We're going to continue to try to work on a long-term deal. But right now we got a solution that works for everybody for the short term, and that's a good thing for the Niners.
That sounds real good. You're listening to KNBR AM and KNBR FM, San Francisco, the sports leader, Cumulus Media Station. Marcus.
Yeah, and John, just to follow up on that, were there long-term contract discussions discussed?
Oh, yeah. And, we obviously couldn't come to an agreement on that right now, but that's not to say that's gone. Some teams do have the policy once you hit the season, they put all contracts away. That's not something we've done. We are going to kind of, focus on going and beating Seattle right now, but we'll continue to try to work towards that. We've said it many times. We love JJ. We love his presence on this team, and we want to keep him around here for a while.
Can you report on the bro hug? Was it a quality bro hug? The kind of the no bad blood bro hug? Was that what it was?
There's no bad blood there at all. There hasn't been, and there's plenty of bro hugs with JJ. He's one of the guys that brings this energy each and every day, and so that's not I guess everybody focused on it because he was back on the practice field, but there's bro hugs almost on a daily basis with Jauan. He's just a happy guy.
John, we've seen you guys go through these situations before, specifically in the wide receiver room. So after going through the experience with the contract extensions for guys like Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk, do you feel like those helped you out in this situation here and how it all played out with Jauan Jennings?
I'm just happy we have Jauan, and we take every situation as its own, and happy and proud the way this thing got handled, and now it's time to focus on beating the Seahawks.
All right. Well, John Lynch is the voice you hear every Thursday at this time, and we are ready for the 49ers and the Seahawks at 1 o'clock. It'll be on 8:10 a.m. and 107.7 FM. And, of course, it'll be Guy Haberman and Tim Ryan on the call as we continue to think about our buddy Greg Papa getting better and hopefully coming back soon enough. He will be watching for sure. I'll just throw one out there, and listen, you've been in this game forever, so you know what prognosticators do, and you know how worthless it all really is. But sometimes it's motivating. And the Athletic did an anonymous NFC poll and had you guys rated as the 7th best NFC team, behind the Rams, among others. Does stuff like that fire you up?
No, it's really kind of elevator music. It's just kind of there. It's, last year there were a lot of people saying we were the number 1 team in the NFC, and that didn't work out so well. So, I think either way, might some people in our locker room use it as motivation? Sure. I think you kind of make everything personal, but it's not something we're worried about. We understand that after a 6-win season, we got to go prove it. And that's the cool thing about this league. As long as I've been around it, is that you have to go prove it each and every day, and we have to do that. We got punched in the mouth last year, and we have to respond. And there's a whole lot of new faces that weren't even part of that, but the people that were, I think that's what we take personal, is that we didn't play up to our standard last year, and that's not acceptable. And we have to change that. And so what we're doing is focusing on the work to go about changing that, and not reading articles as to where people have us rated. And I think the results will speak for themselves when it's all said and done. So that's really where our focus is, where our mindset is, and I really like the mindset of this team.
Yeah, John, I remember going in last year, we talked about the target on your guys' back after that Super Bowl run. But as you mentioned, after a 6-11 season, it seems like that target has shifted. But does that also play into the mindset going to the season where maybe now you're the hunter instead of being the hunted?
Yeah, and I think that's kind of cool. It's I think when you have a great season, I've been in those rooms. People do off-season studies, and everyone's off-season study when you're humming is, okay, how do we counteract what the Niners are doing? Back when I was playing for the Bucks, how do we beat the Tampa 2? This defense is stifling people. And so I think, maybe some of that shifts. Everyone doesn't spend their whole time saying, how do we beat this team? And so all those things, but, I think the bottom line is you got to go play good football. We have players. We've talked a lot about it. We've infused a lot of youth on this team. Hopefully that serves us well. We understand there's going to be some growing pains with that, but we like the mix of, future Hall of Famers along with those young guys as being those role models. So how it plays out, we will see. But I think as long as we continue to get a little bit better each and every day and find a way to win some games, and while we're doing that, we're going to be just fine. And I'm looking forward to seeing it all play out.
Talking to John Lynch. We're going to do this every Thursday during the week. It's awesome. 49ers Seahawks on Sunday. Cannot wait for this one for sure. Big NFC West clash right out of the gate. And then they finish in week 18, if we can even think about week 18 right now, which is a little ways away. John, we had Tim Ryan on. You love Tim. He's awesome, and he's very honest. He's usually bullish on the team, pretty optimistic, but he's also honest. And he said, I said, I'll be honest, bro. He said, I got trepidation and questions about the defense. And is that a fair statement? Like, do you say, okay, I see where Tim's coming from on that because of the turnover?
I think because there's newness, yeah. And, I think, I don't know about trepidation. I try not to live in my fears, nor does Bro. I'm surprised Bro would stoop to that level. But don't be scared, Bro. Yeah, there is newness. It's up on my screen right now. I see Michael, and I see Siegel, and I see some of these Upton Stout. There's a lot of new faces that are going to be out there, and that. I get kind of excited about that, and so I'll work with Bro on the side. But it is new, but like I said, I think that brings some excitement. I also still see the Bosas and Fred Warners and Diamadors, and that fires me up.
New faces on the field, but a familiar face back on the sideline. Robert Saleh back as your defensive coordinator this year. He brings in Gus Bradley to help out with that defense. What are your expectations for the defense this year with Robert Saleh back on the sideline?
Saleh's a really good football coach. He was at the core of us developing this system together. Now that system has evolved while he left, and then he went and expanded upon it when he was with the Jets, brought back some new ideas. Gus comes in, brings some new ideas, and you forge it into your own. And that's part of each and every year in the NFL is finding, okay, what are we really good at? And let's emphasize that. And I think that's something Saleh does extremely well. And tailoring a system, we have core beliefs, but you tailor the system to your players. And I have full confidence that Robert does that well. And man, it's been cool to be around Gus Bradley. You know, when I left Tampa, Gus kind of came in right after I left, and I heard from my old teammates, Derek Brooks, Rondé Barber, what a special dude he was. And, you know, it's been great not only to have Robert back, but then to have Gus in our building and to watch the way those two work together with the rest with Chris Kasarik and Danny Bullocks and you know, our entire defensive staff, Johnny Holland. It's been really fun. And, you know, these guys are going to be coached well. They're going to execute well. And now we just got to go make plays and show everyone who we are. And, you know, everything in this league is earned, and that's what our defense, our team for that matter, has to go do, is establish, you know, what we're going to earn. And it's by what you do every day and then what you do on Sundays or Thursdays or Monday nights when you're
Fridays,
playing.
Saturdays, Mondays.
Yeah, we're playing every day of the week.
John, last week we agreed safeties are criminally underrated. And Jason Pinnock has been named as a starter. I don't think many 49ers know much about him. The other starter hasn't been named, but you just did mention Siegel on your board. Is he the lead horse to be the other safety?
Well, I just was mentioning what's on my screen right now. I think, you know, my idea at safety, we have three really quality players there with Jair, with Pinnock, and Siegel. And I think all three of them are going to see plenty of time. And I think that kind of will sort itself out. So I see that being a strength for us moving forward. And we're excited about all those players. And, you know, we'll see who's out there on Sunday.
John, it's not the sexiest topic to talk about on radio, but let's talk about special teams because there were some issues last year. You guys brought in Brant Boyer. How much of an emphasis was it for you guys to improve on special teams going into the season?
No, it was a big emphasis. You know, not only did Brant come in, also with him, Colt Anderson, who's our assistant special teams coach. Those guys have been great additions. We brought some players in, you know, an emphasis in free agency, Saran Neal, Luke Gifford, guys that are really have hung their hat on being quality special teams players. It's really been a focus. I love the way Brant goes about his work, the respect he garners from the players. Brant did it. It's not a must, but Brant did it in this league as a quality special team player for a long, long time. So as did Colt for that matter. So along with that, Morstead, you know, coming in, and Weeks are you know, we got 80 years of experience with those two guys, our punter and our long snapper. They're awesome. So I'm excited about our special teams and where it's going to go. We've got to be better. It's a huge part of football. We've got to be better in that facet of the game, and I expect us to be.
Talking to John Lynch as we get ready for week one, man, and special teams, it'd be nice to see a couple big plays from special teams for sure. And we talk so much about the youth and all the changes and all that, but then there's your guys. You mentioned future Hall of Famers. I'm not putting them there yet, but Nick Bosa has a chance. And he said yesterday at his media scrum, he said, I've been to the pinnacle. I want to be, I've been the defensive player of the year. I just want to be dominant for a long time. Can you kind of give us the check-in on Nick Bosa? Maybe his sack numbers weren't what they wanted last year. Maybe that had to do with the guys he was playing with. I don't know. What's the John Lynch expectation for Nick Bosa? Is it going to be a big sack year? Is it quarterback pressures? Will Michael Williams and Bryce Huff change who he is? What's the Bosa diagnosis?
Well, Nick is always going to be a force to be reckoned with. He's just that kind of player. He really is. His work habits are impeccable. He's got a lot of gifts from the good Lord that allow him to be a really effective pass rusher. I love that, you know, my expectations for him, I guess, are sort of important, but like his expectations for himself. And I love hearing Nick say, hey, I expect to be dominant. I want to be in the running for the defensive player of the year because that's the type of player he is. And so he's going to do everything he can to put himself in that in that situation, what we throw out there around him, I think, is going to be integral to that. I think Saleh is really gifted at finding a way to get the matchups we want. And, I think that's going to bode well for Nick. But really, Nick's a presence, and I do believe that he's shown over time whoever is blocking him going to have their work cut out for us, for them. And we're excited to watch Nick out there and performing at the high level he usually does.
Well, John, taking a look at the Seahawks this Sunday, it's a new-look Seahawks team. They have a couple familiar 49er faces out there. Clint Kubiak running the offense with Sam Darnold at quarterback. So what is your breakdown and scouting report on these new-look Seattle Seahawks?
Well, I always have a lot of respect for the Seahawks. I think my counterpart there, John Schneider, is as good as there is in the business. He's kind of reinvented their team over the years with Pete Carroll, now with Mike Macdonald. Mike Macdonald's a really good coach. Expertise on the defensive side of the ball, but running a good program. Clint, it's going to be very familiar what we see offensively because Clint kind of cut his teeth here as a coordinator, then went on to New Orleans. And so I think it's going to come down to who really executes because there's not going to be a lot of secrets. I think both teams are very familiar being division opponents. Both teams have a lot of respect for each other. But it's a rivalry and it's an intense one. And it's going to be loud up there. It sounds like there's going to be a lot of faithful up there, which is exciting. And something we didn't see early in our tenure here, we have seen of late. And it will be loud. Hopefully it will be loud with the faithful and the Seattle Seahawks fans. But it is going to be loud, dealing with that noise and all that. But seeing Sam over there, seeing all the familiar faces, brings even a little more intrigue to a season opener, and it's just a lot of exciting things.
As we're wrapping up here, I'll go to your comfort zone and talk Stanford. Christian McCaffrey is back, and that just made you a lot better GM, John. When Christian McCaffrey's on the field, made us a better broadcaster too. Made us a better radio broadcast. But the guy behind him is Brian Robinson, and all of a sudden he's number 2. And I just wonder, do you anticipate I don't want to say spell Christian because he always wants to be on the field, but is there sort of a plan that in getting Brian and making him the number 2 guy, B-Rob Robinson, that there will be a little bit more preservation of McCaffrey this year, perhaps on snap count?
We always talk about that. We're not so good at executing it because he doesn't like coming off the field, but that'd be a great problem to have. And I'll tell you what I'm excited about. I'm excited about Christian being out there, obviously. I'm excited about B-Rob. I'm excited about Garindo, and I'm excited about Jordan James. I think that position group was strengthened this offseason in general, and I think all those players can bring something to the table. Jordan James has had a tough training camp, nicked his knee early in camp, then broke a finger, but he is a tough really good football player. So I think all these guys, we're going to see him contribute at some point during the year. Obviously, our bell cow, one of the better players in the league, in Christian, and having him healthy is just a godsend for our team. He looks tremendous. B-Rob he's an impressive-looking guy, and I think what's been so impressive is how quickly he's taken to what we do. So, Kyle's been pretty upfront about what his expectations are for him. It's a nice issue to have, how we're going to deploy all those weapons. But, man, I think that position group is really going to be a strength of our team.
John, we can't wrap up the interview without asking you about the quarterback, Brock Purdy. And it seems like nationally there is a lot of talk about whether or not he will live up to his new contract, if there's more pressure, if there's more expectations. But you tell us from inside the building, what are your expectations for Brock Purdy after rewarding him with that contract this offseason?
Brock doesn't change much. So the new contract hasn't changed Brock at all. I think the biggest thing that's changed Brock this offseason is becoming a dad. He's really excited about that. But the way he goes about his work on the field, it's just impressive. Brock is who he is. He's never going to change, and we love that. We've got a ton of belief in him, and he's earned that belief. Everyone knows his story. I talked earlier in this interview about in the NFL, you earn everything you get. I don't think that could be any more true than with a guy like Brock Purdy, last player chosen in the draft, and he's just chipped away and kind of taken down every barrier in his way. And, he continues to do that on the field, and I think Brock kind of gets a thrill out of when people doubt him, and but he just goes about his business, and those are the guys that really succeed, that the guys that find a way to get a little better each day, each year, each month, and Brock's going to be that guy, and that's a tremendous leader for our team, and we're very fortunate and excited to have Brock a part of us.
You said he hasn't changed, but now he's selling cowboy boots and he's line dancing.
Commercial.
Did you like that? You like that?
A little cameo by Jake Brindell in there.
Okay,
so,
that's who it was. Yeah, it was hard to tell. Without the name tags, it's hard to tell. What's your line dancing history? Did you ever get out there and do the like in the urban cowboy era out there, John?
No, I haven't done much of that. The only, like when I was at Stanford, we take like once a year down to the
Saddle rack. Yeah.
We'd go once a year, and that's my experience at line dancing.
But isn't there a story about Lisa McCaffrey leading some dances on a table? Like she wasn't that some of the parties? Wasn't she?
Lisa always had fun, and so she. She's a trip. I mean, she's so much fun. Eddie's a great guy, and they make great babies. So we're very grateful for that.
And Luke isn't he part of the Commanders' situation over there? Luke, right? Isn't he? He's one of their
Luke
dudes.
Is part of it. Max, I believe, is coaching in Miami. So they're a football family, no doubt.
Man, oh man! Last one is you get to just be a pundit here. Last one. Cowboys trade Micah Parsons to the Packers. You're a GM. You grade the trade. Who won it?
We'll see. I think that's always it's always with these trades. No one knew when we got Christian McCaffrey. I think everyone thought it was a really great deal for us, and it's proven to be. You never know until a couple of years. Like, what does Dallas do with all those picks that they have now? How does Kenny Clark assimilate? I know you're going to miss Michael Parsons because he's a menace wherever he's at. The Packers are really excited, but we'll see how the thing plays out.
Have you watched
the intrigue of the NFL? It's always
it's awesome.
Always is going.
But when it hit your phone as a notification, did you raise your eyebrows? Did you say anything?
Everyone's been following that. I know a lot of people, around the league, so you hear different things, and you hear like, hey man, that situation's not good. But I don't think anyone really believed that are they actually going to move Michael Parsons. And so I think for everyone, when it actually did happen, it was like, wow, But there were whispers out there that thing had gotten bad.
You're always transparent with us. Did you guys make a call?
We always are going to listen. We weren't really in position to do that, you're always going to make calls and have your ear to the ground. And I just mentioned a couple big trades we made.
Yeah.
You don't if you don't shoot, you don't score.
Right.
So I think you're always listening, but like this one wasn't very realistic for us.
No. And I know you're busy, between running the team and having a family, but have you caught any of the Netflix Jerry Jones gambler thing?
I haven't. At some point I'm gonna maybe some long plane ride.
Yeah, maybe on a plane ride.
Have an occasion.
You will be entertained, man. You will be entertained. Those two guys, Jerry Jones and Jimmy Johnson, don't mind. They don't mind saying stuff.
No, they don't, and they're both great characters. They're both good dudes. That I always say, you can say what you want about Jerry. This league isn't what it is without him. He's a visionary, and I'm excited to watch that.
Yeah, fun stuff, man. Always great catching up, John. We appreciate the time. It's a fun conversation. We just can't wait. Cannot wait for Sunday, and you laser focus on the Seahawks. We'll let you go. Be good. We'll talk next week.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks, John.
Thanks. Okay.